in science is teamwork and collaboration, because that's how science gets done. Collaboration across the world, across countries, across different departments. So collaboration is just so important to science. And I think that's something that really appealed to scientists in Scientists for the EU. And what also appealed was, like you said, the memes and the light-hearted content at the beginning. And again, that's really interesting, because a lot of people still have this idea that scientists are sort of really drab and dull and kind of serious. And I used to make videos on my YouTube channel, lots of different bits of science content. And one of them was a vlog where I just took my phone round a day in the lab. And then, we had a pub quiz that night. So we went to the pub, and so many people were like, oh my God, I didn't know scientists had fun. I was like, of course, we enjoy things. We're not just super serious.
Not as much fun as Rick and Morty, but we definitely do have some fun. Yeah. So this is one of the things too, because it's quite eye-opening when you first set up a channel like that, and you get some people saying, "Oh, you're all on the EU gravy train," or one of the comments that I liked the most was, "Yeah, what's science good for? All you do is study the number of fleas on an aardvark's ass." And I thought, I love that, and I thought, that's fascinating. Wait a sec. I know exactly where this comes from, right? This comes from the tabloids, the Daily Express or the Daily Mail. And the only science they report, apart from dietary stuff, is the joke science, the cats that meow in different accents or what have you. And people who read this think, is that where our funding goes as taxpayers, into this kind of joking around? Actually, what happens is, these are usually scientists that decide to do little side projects. It doesn't cost the taxpayer, and of course, because who's going to fund something like that? But they do little side projects, and then these are the things that then get picked up by the news. But it gives the wider public, or some of the wider public, completely the wrong impression about where the bulk of science funding goes. So you get tons of little insights when you actually open up the science community and say, we're all scientists, we're all chatting on this channel, to the wider public. And there's a lot of public out there that do actually genuinely love science and love being in a science environment with other scientists and absorbing all of that. My dad's like that. He loves reading science books. He did history at university before going on to do some engineering jobs, but he has always loved science right throughout his life. And what I'm proud of with Britain is that we've got a very sciencey culture. We've got a long history in it. We're very open to it. We don't have anything like the kind of science deniers that you could see in the States, where it's also extremely political and frothy. And I think that the way that we do science and our culture in science is something that I'm proud of. And I want more people to not just have within the UK, but also feel ownership. I don't subscribe to this model of kind of like, support us, we are scientists, and we will make the world better for you, and you will say thank you. It's kind of like, because that's patronizing. That is, you give us your money and we will give something to you. But what people really want is, they want the opportunities to be involved themselves, or for their kids to set up businesses in this area. They want to be part of their local science story or the national science story. They want involvement in all that. And so that's why I think it's dead important that science as a culture really, really opens up to the public and involves the public, because, I've seen from our own channels when that happens, that's a really, really lovely thing. And it's fun discussions.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of emphasis. I mean, definitely over the past, oh God, I'm going to make myself feel really old now, maybe like 10 years since I've been in sort of the science world, is this focus on public engagement, STEM ambassadors, lots of different events, lots of, different funding now available for people who want to do public engagement. And as you said, that's so important, because, if you have an us and them culture, which is something we've seen a lot in a lot of different spheres recently.
Yeah, think town and gown in every university, right?
Yeah. And it just makes people so distant from it that they can't even relate to how it might affect them. But then if they can't even relate to how it might affect them, then why would they be interested? And then why would they be supportive of this thing? So yeah, it's definitely really important to open it up.
Yeah. So the fundamental sort of thing is that why should people in this country back science? Sort of what's in it for them? And there's two levels. One is, just a straight up transactional, but there's another one which is emotional. I back scientists because I find this all fascinating. And furthermore, I think scientists have got my back. And furthermore, I feel involved and I feel that this is opportunities for me and my kids. That's how you've got to see it. And, if you ask, anyone that you pull off the street or whatever, who in society they trust, it's doctors and nurses that come out first because they have contact with them and they know these are people that take care of them. They've got an interest in them. So, they can rely on them. And I think that what we really need to be doing is having our universities, our scientists engage that much more with society. I think actually there are so many postdocs kicking around, trying to get their next grant, knowing that, if they miss out on 2 more grants, then they're probably out. But you've got that wealth of postdocs, and then you've got a whole load of businesses, small businesses, public endeavors, like local council endeavors, where people can actually do with the analytical or statistical input.